Howdy Lotus fans. Right, I haven't been filming this morning, but the rear's finished. We've got the handbrake working and operational, we've got the cable through, we've got the fuel lines through. Obviously the chassis bolts aren't in yet, it's still just having a bit of a rest, but we're making progress. I am now, I'm getting old. I am now taking all the fuel lines off and making up brand new lines with ethanol proof stuff, then bolting them back in. And I suppose I really should have grabbed the fuel tank, because that could have gone back in too. And then the battery will be going in soon, so we can start testing some of the electrics. So yeah, good progress. Okay, cleaner screen. So yeah, this will be finished today, and then this looks a bit scary still. I don't want to get too involved in here. Yeah, I'm definitely going to do the fueling, and then I'm going to choose a job that I can start and finish, or one that I've already started and can finish. That will really help my mental belief in moving the project forward. I might set up a time lapse just because I spoiled you lot. Right, so fuel hose replacement. Although these look pretty good, they are 20 years old, and they are going to be, they're not going to like E10 fuel. So I've bought myself some connectors, but they're for under the bonnet. About 4 meters of very expensive ethanol proof hose. So I've got the proper cutters, so these will give me a nice clean cut through the hose. And I've also got a load of these proper fuel pipe clips rather than Jubilee clips. These won't cut them, and for the sake of spending, I don't know, £3, rather have the proper stuff. So I'll put this on time lapse because no one needs to see me doing this. It's people have got far better things to be doing. And then I will I'll show the finished thing with the pump and the filter all attached. And then next time I'll go and get the tank out of storage, and we'll get the pressure gauge put in and have all of this bit finished off. So that'll be nice. Right, time lapse ahoy. Well, as you'd have seen me struggling there, I've come to the realisation that it was actually 8mm, not 6mm hose with reducers. So although it's 6, once it goes into this nylon fuel pipe up to the front, and it's 6 coming out of the fuel tank, it is actually 8, and I couldn't get this one on all the way because that's also an 8. So another job that should have been a nice, quick, satisfying task is now held up for another week. Ugh. Such is life. Bit of a mean and moody sky here in Lincolnshire today. The Mini, I need to add new brake discs and some special blue stuff pads. It's going on track next week. Totally standard. Chinese tyres. See how it gets on. Lots of bits here for sale. Not the hardtop. Motorcycle trailer, Range Rover bits, bumpers, all going towards funding the Elan project. So, oh, hang on. Things are always much better. Turn lights on. So, What happened yesterday? Oh, yesterday was a pain in the ass. So basically what I had to do was just do all the body mountings. So I've got all of them in, apart from the two behind this panel because I can't find them, and the two here because I don't know if you can see in there, but it's not quite aligned. The body needs to go down. So I gave up on that. Cheap Chinese connectors. I'm going to redo this because it's really annoying me and it looks awful. So I'm going to get that done. And then basically the rest of the day is going to be built towards... Oh, I put my balance bar on just for looks. And obviously I put a nice big nick in my new paint job. But yeah, quite pleased with this ingenuity. That's going to be the takeoff for the map sensor. Yeah, the rest of the day is going to be prep to get the nodis wired in next week. I'm not doing that today because my extra wiring hasn't arrived, but I'm just debating whether to have it out in the open or inside. I think I'm probably going to have it out in the open, and then all that needs is a relay wiring in, power and earth. It needs the pre-done wires coming from the crank sensor because they're shielded, and then all I'll need to do is make up a small loop of wiring for the map sensor and again for the coolant sensor, and then yeah, then it's pretty much kind of ready to go. Then once I've got my wiring, this is the fan relay, that's going to be run by the ECU, so I'm going to move that up here and just get rid of a lot of this shite down here because it's annoying me. And then the boot wiring is going to be done as well, but I've got to wait for my bits to arrive. But yeah, the chassis is mounted, as you can see on the mounting blocks. It's got a nice bit of copper grease on there, so that will come out nicely. It's also another mounting point there and there. I don't know if you can see it. Get your eyes down there. See that stud? I welded that onto the chassis for an earth takeoff, but it's in totally the wrong place. I can't access it, so I will be doing another one either down here because I can get the welding torch in there, or I will choose a point of the engine to be the main earth. So that is earth to the chassis through that cable. I bought a new one because it does look a little bit old. So yeah, hopefully this time next week we should have the nodis installed. The carbs won't be here for another few weeks, that's fine. Have the brakes reconnected, speedo reconnected, the electrics connected so the car turns on at least. Don't know if I'll put the radiator in just yet, I quite like having the room. And the next problem is the tacho. So this is a RVI, which means inductive, and I think that means this can work with the nodis with a little bit of modification. I need to find out what that is first, but hopefully that should work quite well. And then yeah, making progress. So I'll set up a little time lapse of me doing the crimping, because I have actually bought sorry about the mess, I'm not even sorry, it's a messy car, I use it all the time. I've got a proper non-insulated terminal crimp. Now this isn't the best one, the dies aren't great, but it will crimp the, first of all, the crimps for the nodis and for these. So it should just make everything really nice and easy and professional. So yeah, I'll get this set up and then that'll probably be it for today.
Here we have them. So, wire strippers. Take off about 4 or 5 mil. That's a little bit too much on that one. Don't know how well you guys can see this, but essentially I've got a little chair I can use here. save my old back. So essentially what these do is, they've got 2 points. One which crimps around the core of the cable, and the other part which crimps around the insulated part. So these have 2 different bits of the jaw. What I'm going to do, this is always the way when you're working with cheap kit, is you've got to make allowances for its limitations. They're usually a bit more cumbersome. A bit more unwieldy, so I'm working here with cheap crimps, knackered wiring, well not knackered, and a cheap crimper. So it's really the triumvirate of shitness. But let's see how that's happened. Well, quite impressed with that. I don't know if you can see it, but that looks like a professional's done it. Phew, bloody hell, really? That is quite good, isn't it? I might just give the old wire a little bit of a nip up, like so. Okay, that can work. Right, let's do the other one, and then I'll bring the camera over for a bit of a zoomie. Where is the other one? Here it is. This is the side repeater, which is broken, so I sat on it like fat ass and fucked it up right. So obviously we load it in the crimper first, getting it the right way around. Be that way. A little nibble. Pull those collars, jaws, collars, everything. Line it up. Right, now it's lined up. Shove this up its jacksy. So it looks about right. Give it a squeeze. Looks good. Right, I'll bring you over.
There we go. You can see how the front is crimped around the core, and then this back bit here just kind of bites on the insulation. So, and here's the second piece. It's not going to focus for it. Yeah, I'm pretty impressed with that. So now what we have to do is get these little waterproofers. They slide over, and then you ram them up there, and then they go there, and then you got to the side where you do the male end, and then Bob's your mother's brother. You should have a nice connection, and also it's easily disconnectable and looks like, it basically looks like a gibbon hasn't done it. So yeah, I'll get this back on the tripod, and I'll just speed it up and you can watch me struggle with this from a distance. So what happened here was essentially a lot of mistakes by me, putting the wrong terminals on the wrong wire and general arsing about, but the terminals just weren't strong enough to go through the connectors and create a solid connection. So it sort of worked, but I'm going to have to, and you can see me trying to recover a mistake there with 2 wires going into one crimp. I did get it done, and then I had to kind of jerry rig one of the earths, but ultimately I'm not 100% sure it's going to be reliable, so we will see. But this was a comedy of errors, me doing this wiring. Honestly, if you could watch the whole thing, you'd just be laughing, because I should have just left it as it was. But anyway, I'll cut it there because it's just more of the same. And that pretty much rounds up what I did for the day. I did tidy up the wiring where the relay was, but I had run out of steam and forgot to film it all. So I've left the garage in a horrendous state, and will be back on Friday with the no-dis and hopefully a load of wiring, and we'll get the no-dis fitted. We'll get the battery connected, test all of the stuff that I've done, because my multimeter had gone flat, so just test the continuity. And then, yeah, it should be getting the last of the chassis bolts in, steering wheel back on, dashboard, interior. Yeah, making progress. So catch you next week.